Morphogenic fields are collective energy patterns or blueprints that influence behavior, growth, and form. These fields can be built, accessed, and strengthened over time through repeated actions, thoughts, or rituals. The more a morphogenic field is engaged with, the stronger it becomes. This creates a powerful reservoir of energy that individuals or groups can tap into for growth or manifestation. The potency of a magical system increases the longer it has existed and the more it has been practiced. Rituals, spells, and spiritual practices accumulate energy from repeated use, creating a reservoir of power that practitioners can draw from. This cumulative effect enhances the effectiveness of the system as the collective energy and belief invested in it over time amplify its resonance and accessibility. Systems with ancient origins often carry significant energetic weight due to their long-standing history and widespread use. The idea of a Stargate has its roots in ancient myths and legends about portals between worlds, such as the Greek myth Gate of the Gods, or the idea of portals in Norse mythology. In these stories, the gates often serve as connections between different realms or dimensions, a concept that resonates with modern fascination with parallel universes and extraterrestrial life. The Stargate series expands on this, presenting the gates not just as tools for transportation, but as instruments of adventure, conflict, and discovery. From a scientific standpoint, the idea of wormholes and interdimensional travel remain a tantalizing prospect for physicists. The study of wormholes, quantum mechanics, and the nature of time as being nonlinear continues to expand collective understanding of the universe. Stargates are described as portals that allow for interplanetary travel and journeys that transcend the material realm. A Stargate is a device that connects different worlds. It is a symbol that individuals must pass through to evolve. Ascension refers to a process by which individuals or civilizations end their physical forms, evolving to a higher state of existence, often characterized by heightened consciousness and spiritual enlightenment. Certain souls, particularly those with strong spiritual or moral qualities, are capable of undergoing ascension. The ascended beings, often portrayed as ethereal, near-omnipotent entities, represent the pinnacle of this transformation. These beings, while still retaining their individual consciousness, exist in a state of pure energy and are no longer bound by the physical laws of the universe. Wormholes are passages through space-time that create shortcuts for long journeys across the universe. Predicted by equations of general relativity, a wormhole is like a tunnel with two ends at separate points in space and time. The idea is that If a space-time can be bent or folded, two distant locations could be connected through a bridge, allowing matter to travel almost instantaneously between them. Wormholes continue to intrigue physicists as potential gateways for faster-than-light travel or even time travel. When wormholes are explored in the context of interdimensional travel, a concept becomes even more speculative and mind-blowing. While traditional wormholes are typically discussed in the framework of space-time, interdimensional travel suggests that these theoretical bridges could connect not only just distant points in space and time, but entirely different dimensions of reality. In this view, wormholes act as tunnels, not just between different locations in our own universe, but between parallel universes or alternate dimensions with their own distinct physical laws, constants, and even forms of life. The idea that wormholes could be gateways to higher dimensions is rooted in certain theories in modern physics, particularly string theory and the multiverse hypothesis. In string theory, for example, the universe is thought to consist of more than the familiar three dimensions of space and one of time. It suggests that there could be additional compactified dimensions that we cannot directly perceive. If wormholes exist, some scientists hypothesize that these could potentially connect different membranes in higher dimensional spaces, each containing a different universe. Travel through such a wormhole might allow one to enter a universe with different physical properties or even radically different laws of physics. The original human avatar blueprint contained 12 strands of DNA. Since then, 10 were deactivated and labeled by academia as junk DNA. People once had advanced telepathic, telekinetic, and spiritual abilities. Bodies stopped aging after adulthood and were immune to disease and degeneration. People were also able to heal and regenerate their bodies entirely. To corrupt human DNA and to deactivate higher strands, the Anunnaki introduced primate DNA from the rhesus monkey via genetic engineering and fused together chromosomes. Human bodies were essentially redesigned to be dependent on civilization and technology to survive. To have access to those things, you need money. To attain money, you need to trade your time, energy, and life force. There have been multiple resets throughout history and multiple species of humanoid. The Anunnaki also like to run genetic experiments. While creating their ideal slave race, they went through multiple versions before they decided on Homo sapiens. There were all kinds of things around at that time that seemed like they came from a fantasy novel. Giants, fairy tale creatures. If someone could imagine it and put enough energy behind their thought, then it would manifest. Physical matter is governed by physical laws. And the higher the vibration of the Earth matrix, the more malleable those laws become. Ascended masters and other spiritually advanced beings can dematerialize and rematerialize solid matter without taking any physical action, using only thought. They can create bodies for themselves and inhabit those bodies and alter their physical form at will. They can ascend their body up through the etheric plane into the astral and full waking consciousness, make any desired changes, and descend back down when they choose. At higher dimensions, such abilities are common, but not here in the third dimension. Saturn is what crystallizes etheric matter into a fixed physical form. The group that has enslaved humanity worships Saturn, among other deities. Certain programs and control systems have been put in place to create artificial scarcity. This world is not devoid of resources, and there exists an infinite sea of potential universes. Yet most people are unable to free themselves of recycling into this realm or find lasting fulfillment in life. Templar seals and numerical markers such as 666 are consciousness constraints placed upon human awareness. 6 is the atomic number of carbon. Humans are carbon-based life forms. Symbolically, 666 represents a binding of the soul to the third dimension. DNA is viewed not only as a biological structure, but as a representation for encoded potential in a multi-dimensional template through which consciousness expresses itself into physical form. Seals represent limiting programs or frequency locks that restrict perception, memory, Stargate access, and admittance to higher states of being. The 666 seal is a binding placed on dormant DNA strands, keeping souls anchored to the third dimensional consciousness. Mind, body, and matter are operating in separation and survival-based identity. Rather than a mark of evil, it represents a state of fragmentation, where consciousness experiences itself as divided and incomplete. In this mythic model, souls repeatedly incarnate in 3D reality, not as punishment, but as a process of integration, recovering lost aspects of self through experience, relationship, challenge, and self-awareness. Each lifetime offers opportunities to reclaim fragmented parts of consciousness that were split off through fear, trauma, or unconsciousness. The seal persists as long as identity remains rooted in unconscious patterns. Attachment, fear, domination, victimhood, and seeking external authority. As awareness expands through DNA activation, shadow work, self-reflection, letting go of negativity, taking responsibility for one's action, and soul fragment integration, these seals begin to dissolve. Spiritual evolution in this sense is not about escaping this world, but about becoming whole within it. The more integrated the self becomes, the less bound it is to the repetitive cycles of experience. Ascension within this symbolic language does not mean leaving the physical universe, but transcending the level of consciousness that experiences reality as fragmented and compulsory. When the individual no longer identifies exclusively with survival, separation, or conditioned belief systems, the seal loses its function. What was once a constraint becomes irrelevant. The soul is no longer pulled back into repetition because it has learned what the cycle was designed to teach. Unity, self-authorship, and conscious creation. Seen this way, Templar seals, DNA locks, and numerical symbols provide roadmaps as a catalyst for inner transformation. Removal of the seal is not an act of force, rebellion, or ritual alone. It is the natural result of integration, maturity, and conscious evolution, where the fragmented self becomes whole and the need for repetition dissolves on its own.